Okay, Sunny.
Excellent. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today, and happy Wednesday. We appreciate your participation and we hope that you learn and you enjoy with all the networking. As well, we want to introduce our key host and speaker, Mr. Gary Neska. He's a good friend of mine for over 15 years, and he actually has been in the industry about 40 years. Very experienced, very technologically savvy, tech savvy, and extremely versed with the commercial real estate market. He offers great advice and great tool. I've always looked up to him. He's been a role model and a leader to me for over 15 years of knowing him. And as a matter of fact, he also has a very high designation of CCIM, which is the Commercial Institute. And so let's go ahead and introduce Mr. Gary Neska, the president of ICIWorld.
Thank you so much, Sunny. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I know everybody's taken time out of their busy schedules to be here, and I hope to today give you some absolute value-added things that you can be doing to make money, including even making money today. And sometimes I like to start off with that just to show you how there's things that you can be doing to make money that you're not doing right now that you could be doing today in your everyday scheme of things. You'll notice that there's one of the websites that we have, and we have over 20 major world websites, and we're building more. But when you become a member of ICIWorld, Association of Real Estate Brokers and Salespeople, your information will be propagated throughout the world instantly and added instantly and all over the world. And it's on over 18,000 places on the internet. But in addition to that, there's 1 million backlinks. It's just all over. It's amazing the places that I see where the information gets to, because we've been building it for 24 years since 1994. But I'm going to click on one of our latest, one of our websites called worldrealestatenetwork.com. And I'm going to suggest that you start to take notes starting now. On a pad of paper, you can check a lot of these things out later on your own time. Every one of our websites will have the 4 choices that you now see on the screen: commercial, business opportunities, residential, and FSBOs. So no matter what website you go to, and I'm not going to start listing them here because there's too many to list, but you're going to learn. If you go to any of our websites, you can learn. I'll give you one website where you can learn a lot very quickly. It's called rehaw.com. rehaw.com. And if you go there, you'll actually get to learn faster and quicker, because we've got everything laid out for you to kind of learn from there. I'll bring it up on the screen. There it is. You go to tools and you go to learn. When you go to learn, you're going to find out that after today, if you don't understand or pick up something very quickly, you can go to these live upcoming webinars. The next one after this one here today is at 7 o'clock tonight. The other ones are Saturday and Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. You can register for one of these webinars and learn on your own time. And you're going to learn 3 special questions that can help you make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, we have brokers making over $1 million. And we've also had the highest sales in Canada for commercial real estate, amongst the highest sales, $50 million plus. And that's higher than the Toronto Real Estate Board, $28 million. So there's a lot of business being done here from 0 right up to $50 million plus. The nice thing about these 4 choices, and I'm going to show you today, the people that got here early, how you can be doing business by 5 o'clock today. I'm going to click on business opportunities, and you're going to see a form come up, and you'll see that there's keywords all through here. I'm going to pick just one keyword, but you can do this with any business that you want to. I'm going to pick the word pharmacy, where it's on business opportunities. I'm going to change the haves and the wants to a want, and I could go into selecting business areas throughout the world. This service is designed for every broker in the world to put all your listings on this service. And guess what? You can have all the listings on this service on your website. I'm going to be showing you that later on. But I want to show you how to do business by 5 o'clock today. Each of you can be the judge of how exciting this is. And I'd like you to let me know as soon as I show you. I'm going to go down to the bottom. We're searching the wants for businesses. All our apps, you can go and get the ICIWorld app and install it on your phone, are displaying listings less than 3 months old. We don't delete listings here for 5 years. For the people that don't want to see them, don't look at them. Just choose 3 months if that's all you want to see. But later on, we're going to talk about how commercial brokers are doing business with all of these other listings that are on ICIWorld. I'm not going to explain that now. I'll cover it later. I'm just going to look up to 3 months. What are the existing buyers for most of the people here today, I believe, are in Ontario. Do we have any attendees today that are not in Ontario? We'll continue on. If you are not in Ontario, let us know. We can actually go to your province or state and show you those. But I'm going to click on search. And what you're going to see right away are the wants come on the screen. These are brokers who are working with buyers for pharmacies. Now, I have a question for each and every one of you. Do any of you ever go into a pharmacy? Now, can we get some chatter going back and forth, Sunny, with the chat window where people can, if I ask a question, they can answer in the chat window? Is that okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
If everyone can share answers with us.
Okay, so
yeah.
Does anybody here, let's say in the next 1, 2, or 3 weeks, will you be going into a pharmacy? Anybody at all?
Yeah, we got Deepika saying yes. We got Rick saying yes. I see where
Okay.
this is going. Yes.
All
yes,
right. Now
yes.
I have another question. If you wanted to, could you go into a pharmacy today if you wanted to? I know these are simple questions. Stay with me. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars to be made here if you just have a little patience with me.
Yeah, the common answer is yes.
Okay, so let's say you go into a pharmacy. Could you ask to speak to the owner of the pharmacy? In fact, somebody just came back from a pharmacy.
That's a good one.
Very good. I'm going to show you the business that you might have just missed that in the future you won't. The question is, could you ask to speak to the owner of the pharmacy?
Yeah.
Of course. When the owner of the pharmacy comes over and talks to you, that's wonderful, but it's possible that owner might not be there, in which case you're going to leave your business card and ask for the owner to call you. There's one thing I know about every one of you is that you will not give up. If you had to find out who the owner of that pharmacy is, would you stay on it until you found out? If you wanted to?
Yes.
You bet. And if you can't get by and get to the owner of that pharmacy, I don't know if commercial real estate is for you, because in this business, you need determination. You need stubbornness. You need to be able to find an answer, and it'll bother you until you get it. And you dig until you get the name of the owner of that pharmacy, whether it's a company, a person, or something. I'm not going to go into that yet. But let's say it happens to be the pharmacist, and he comes over and he says, yes, I'm one of the owners. Can I help you? You can ask him, I'd like to, and just introduce yourself and say, I would like to ask you a business question. If I was to get you the price you wanted, would you consider selling? Could you ask that question today of an owner of a pharmacy before 5 o'clock? I'd like to have an answer for everyone. I'm getting some cheers, I'm getting some yeses.
Oh,
And I'm getting some banging in the background. For some people that aren't listening at the moment, it looks like. Actually, can you mute your phone, whoever that is? How can we mute that?
Annavi, you drinking the stop it. No, no ice cream finish, it's rice in it.
I'd like to learn how to mute that phone.
I think you muted yourself.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I think everyone's muted, and I think we'll have to stay like that for the next little while until we figure out who that was. But you can always answer in the chat window. So here we are before 5 o'clock, standing in front of the owner of a pharmacy, and you ask him a question. And here's the question. I'm going to suggest you could write this down right now. If I could get you the price you wanted, would you consider selling? If I could get you the price you wanted, would you consider selling? Now, the only reason you can get excited about that, one of the reasons you get excited about that, is you've got 7 buyers on the screen. These 7 buyers came from your colleagues in the business who have posted their haves and wants on ICIWorld. ICIWorld is a database, an index in the world to collect all that information in the world and put it in one spot so that you can instantly see it instead of having to search Facebook and all these other social media sites. You have to go through them for hours and hours and hours to find 1 or 2 buyers. And you have to post and post and post. And it just absorbs so much of your time, all this other social media. It just takes up your time, and your time is very valuable. What you should also be doing is including ICIWorld, because right away, bingo, within a matter of less than 1 minute, you have a list of 7 buyers of pharmacies right now. Is it just for pharmacies? Oh, no. It's also for daycare centers, shopping centers. It's also for condo sites. It's for VIP construction, pre-construction. It's for hotels, motels, gas stations, apartment buildings. It's for everything in the industry. There's a whole set of buyers here. And if you're in the industry, wouldn't it be wonderful if you knew what all these buyers were looking for? So now you, instead of just asking, going up and down and knocking on doors, you know exactly who's looking for what. This means you can go to a pharmacy, you can go to a restaurant, you can talk to a hotel owner and ask the same question. If I was to get you the price you wanted for your business, would you consider selling? Now they have 2 answers. The first one might be no, not at this time. Thank you very much. But I'll keep your business card. And if we ever change our mind, we'll get back to you. In the meantime, you have just planted a seed. You should take that name and phone number and put them into your CRM. ICIWorld supplies websites. We supply the CRMs in websites. They can be as little as $16.50 a month for these websites. If you already have a website and you have a CRM, you put it in. And keep in touch with them once a month, send them a nice newsletter, that kind of thing. But the other answer he could say is he looks around his pharmacy, makes sure nobody's listening. And he says, as a matter of fact, if you could bring me in $1.2 million, I'll sell it today, but I don't want to give you a listing. Almost every one of them will say, I don't want to give you a listing. The point is, everybody in the industry is now stuck. What do you do with that information? There's a buyer here. There's somebody interested. What do you do and how do you package it together? Well, one thing you can do for anybody that ever says, I don't want to give you a listing, not just for a pharmacy, it could be for a condo, a piece of land, anything at all, daycare center. You can ask them 3 special questions, and I'm going to give you those 3 special questions right now. In fact, I think I'm going to jump to it with the I think I can do it right here. Yes, I can. Hold on one moment. And let me see if I go down like this and try it this way. Question. Okay, hold on. Here it is. Let me make it a little bigger for you. And I'm going to suggest you take a picture of it with your camera, everybody. Get your phone out. This has helped brokers make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Brokers have made over $1 million. And the reason is we work with information, and we've been doing it for 25 years. It started out of the Toronto Real Estate Board. We would stand up in the auditorium and say, we have a buyer for this. Oh, I have an industrial building for sale, but it's not on the market yet. Or somebody says, I have a client, a lawyer, he's got one of his customers has a $2 million shopping center. Those are pieces of information floating around in the industry. And there's never been an organized way to capture all of that and put it in one spot until ICIWorld, industrial, commercial, investment, real estate, that now is doing residential as well with information. But you have to be careful with information. And we're going to show you how to be careful with that information within the next 5 minutes, because some people don't work information because people go behind their back. If you tell them about a product, they're going to end up going behind your back. And also, it's also against RICO guidelines. And when you study it, I'm going to show you the RICO guidelines coming up here in a minute of what you must and must not do when giving an address to someone. You must have the consent of the owner in writing. At this point in time, when that pharmacist says, but I don't want to give you a listing, but you bring me in a buyer, we suggest you ask these 3 simple questions. And the first one is, will you pay me a commission if I bring you a buyer? Does anyone listening to this now have a problem with that question? You can answer it in the chat window. Does anybody have a question with that first question? Anybody have a problem with that first question? Sorry.
I think it's a great question. Will you pay me a commission if I bring a buyer? That's a great question.
There you go. In 25 years, we've actually never had a person have a problem with that question. Let's move right on to the second question.
Nobody should have a problem with that question. That's what we are there in the market.
You're absolutely right.
Yep. And if we're not asking the question,
Go
or
home.
we're not asking and trying, then we're in the wrong business.
And
Sorry.
you're not going to be making any money. You gotta ask. Okay, very good. Let's go to the second question. You ask them, will you give me a 48-hour exclusive listing to show the property once I have a buyer? Remember, people, you do not have a listing on the property. You want to be assured that if you were to bring in a buyer in the future, that he or she will sign a 48-hour exclusive listing to show the property. You get that in a verbal representation. If they sign a listing, you don't need to do what we're doing on the screen. If they sign a listing, put it on the Toronto Real Estate Board. It's wonderful. You put it up there. There's all kinds of people see it on the internet. And next thing you know, you got 12 showings and you got 4 offers and away you go. It's wonderful. But if it's a piece of information, you cannot put a piece of information that you're thinking in your brain onto the Toronto Real Estate Board. You have to have a signature on a piece of paper called a listing agreement before you can do that. We are dealing with information that's going to trigger you leads, just like MLS listings go on the internet, can trigger you a lead. Information can go now on the internet with ICIWorld that can trigger you a lead. It's fantastic. You got to read the testimonials if you haven't seen them up till now. So you ask the person, will you give me a 48-hour exclusive listing to show the property once I have a buyer? And you get a verbal agreement there as well. Some people say, well, you know, I'm showing hotels. Can I ask for a week? You can ask for anything you want. We've had brokers that ask for a 2-hour exclusive listing agreement from 12 o'clock noon till 2 o'clock on a Saturday. It was in Sudbury. It was a waterfront property. The broker told me all about it. He had a 2-hour listing agreement. He showed the property and he put in an offer and they got it. So you should learn how to do that. All of you can speak to Sonny. He can help. He knows about this stuff, but you can also speak to the managers of your office, to the owners of your office, whoever, and other experienced people in the business. And you should have exclusive listing agreements in your briefcase at all times. Now, the key is once I have a buyer, if you ask for a 48-hour exclusive listing, and we've had broker members that did not make money here, they were asking for a 48-hour exclusive listing. They don't want to give a listing on the spot. They don't want you to try to sell it. If you have a buyer, then bring them over and show it. That's a different story. They'll sign an agreement for that. I'm going over this for some of you longer than normal because there's some people that are not familiar with these kinds of things, and I want to make sure that you understand it. Sometimes in the past, we found that we might have gone a little too fast. In the cases where we have gone too fast, if you write this down called stage, STAGE.ICIWorld.com, you can go and register for an upcoming webinar where it will cover all of this good stuff again for you in more detail from beginning to end. They are sessions that we have conducted for real estate boards, real estate associations, real estate offices over the last number of years, and it's working fabulous. It's working as smooth as a baby's bum. Brokers are making a lot of money. As a matter of fact, some brokers are making way more money doing this than even with MLS, because there's so much money involved with exclusive type information. The good news, you can do both, and you should be doing both. If you can get a signed listing, put it on the Toronto Real Estate Board, away you go. But then you ask that pharmacist a third question. May I advertise your property, but I'm going to do it without disclosing the address? And you give them a copy of the ad, because sometimes they still say no, and that's because they think you're going to advertise their restaurant, you're going to advertise their business, you're going to advertise their pharmacy, and they don't want other people to know that it's for sale. It could be bad for business. It could be bad for their employees. I'm telling you now, there's 10 major reasons why people don't want to list on MLS. Many people with exclusive homes don't want all the interior photos of all their homes plastered all over the internet for all the thieves in the world to see. They don't want to do that. They want to do it on a very exclusive basis, where if you have a qualified buyer, then I don't mind releasing the information to that one buyer. But they don't want to have people coming in their store, looking around and saying, notice your property is for sale on the internet. And they don't want to have people nosing around and asking questions, bothering the employees and all that kind of stuff. The way I'm showing you how to do it gives you the capability to do it that other brokers in the industry do not know how to do. That's the third question. Now, the reason for the third question and how to form it, you tell that pharmacist how the ad is going to read. Greater Toronto Area, pharmacy, $1.2 million, making money. That's it. That's going to be the total ad. When you get started here, if you're not sure of what to do, we are your assistants for every single thing that you do. You need a little hand for something, you make an appointment, you go to our main website, click on make an appointment, 10 minutes before your time, bingo, you click on the webinar workshops, our two computers are connected, and we will actually help you place your ads. Over the last 25 years, we have found that brokers only need 1 or 2 sessions, and bingo, you're good to go for life. You're going to be able to add your listings. It's just like classified ads in a newspaper, unlimited ads, but instead of $300 a word or $300 a day to place an ad, it's $319 for the whole year. Works out to less than 1/10 of 1 cent per line per day when you think about it. And it's got worldwide access of people from 138 countries and people locally. And because we're advertising on the front page of all the major publications, it's generating traffic for everything going on here, more traffic than even real estate people that are using it, because all real estate people seem to be so busy doing things. Sometimes they overlook the things that are really making money. That's the reason why Sonny was so gracious to share all his knowledge of what he knows here with each and every one of you. So the 2 reasons for may I advertise your property, but I'm going to do it without disclosing the address. Number 1 is to prevent people from also going behind your back. But there's also another reason, and it has to do with RICO, which is on the screen. If you want to take a picture of that, you could. According to RICO, a registrant shall not include anything in an advertisement that could reasonably be used to, and the key word is identify. I'm going to cover that here in a second, and I'm going to give you all a test here in a moment as well. Specific real estate, unless the owner of that real estate has consented in writing. The key is in writing. Now, if you do not identify the property, if you simply say, I have a home in Mississauga, $1.4 million, double car garage, ground level family room, granite counters, overlooking ravine lot, you can say all of that without a signed listing, as long as you don't put the address or identify the property. But if I said I had an Esso gas station in Whitby, Ontario, that could actually identify that property, because there's only 2 of them there. And you can figure out which one it is. So you have to say branded gas station, 2 hours or 1 hour to Toronto. Those are the ways that you disguise it. This is important that you learn how to do that. So now there's another problem. You go ahead and you put pharmacy on ICIWorld, $1.2 million, Greater Toronto Area, making money. And bingo, the phone rings and somebody calls you up. And the first thing they're going to do is they're going to ask you what? Please type it in the chat window. What do you think is the first thing they're going to ask you?
What's the stop?
You'll ask for the location.
Where is it located? Absolutely. Good show. Sometimes I ask you, and I know you're going to give me the good answer, but I need to know that all the sound is working through these presentations. There's been times when I've talked for 10 minutes and the sound wasn't even on. So thank you for indulging me. I thank you ahead of time for your patience. And I also thank you for giving me the patience to be able to speak at my speed, because every one of you thinks faster than when I can talk. So thank you for your patience to stay with me.
That is pretty well placed. So don't worry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your
Welcome.
comments. I can assure you that this is money-making stuff. I've been doing it for now 25 years. I've learned more over the last 10 years. Unbelievable what's going on out here. And I work with brokers every hour on the hour with appointments, showing them how to do this stuff. And I'm hearing nothing but fabulous stories, $300,000 checks, $150,000 checks, $30,000 checks, $5,000 checks for doing a 5-minute referral. So it's all happening, it's working, and it's lovely. And there's 4 billion people on the internet that are there to do business with you. Now we're going to go to the question when they say, what is the address? So when somebody calls you up and says, what is the address? And by the way, you can take a picture of this as well. Somebody calls you on the phone and says, if you don't mind, I'd like to drive by the property with my family. And if we like it, I'll give you a call back. You make a statement that in this particular case, we have to put an agreement in place first. But if it's okay with you, I can show it to you maybe on Saturday. You come to my office at 12 noon. I'll make arrangements for you to see it. And then on the Friday, the day before the appointment, you go back to that pharmacist and says, I do have someone to show it tomorrow. If that's okay with you, I need a 48-hour exclusive listing to cover my showing. And then you deal with that. Any questions on this?
No, it's pretty much clear.
It is.
What we have to do, and
You know,
there's no rocket science in it.
yeah. You know, in Lake Tahoe, which is a place in Nevada, you can go skiing up in the mountains in one day and go swimming in the water in Lake Tahoe in the same day. A lot of the movie star properties up there, they're all being sold this way. Interesting, eh?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to list it on MLS right away. They don't want to do it. So what I'm trying to do is to say, okay, people, if you can't put it on MLS, as the real estate industry, each and every one of us, we're all licensed real estate brokers and salespeople. Let's put it on an information service and let's network information that can make business for all of us. And it's working. It's working fantastic. It took a long time to kind of get it off the ground, but it's working smooth as a baby's bum. And as long as you follow the RICO guidelines for information, you must not reveal an address of a property unless you have a signed listing. Okay. Now, what else can you do here? Well, we'll cover one more thing, coming for sale. Some of you might have a property that's coming for sale in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Why not put that on here? And how would that work? Well, if you have a property, say it's a home coming for sale, you could even say after the pandemic and put it on here now. $1.2 million. I always say the word approximately if you don't have a signed listing. And you'll say, well, somebody calls you and they say, I'd like to have the address. You say, well, in this particular case, we have to put an agreement in place first. But if it's okay with you, I'll put you on a list. Once I get the agreement signed, which could be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months from now, I will call you back. And if you're still looking, you can be one of the first people through the property. How does that sound? Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Now, we're not talking about an MLS agreement that you're sticking in your back pocket called back pocket listings. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a piece of information. There's nothing signed. There's nothing signed here. This is just coming for sale. You know, somebody close to you, a friend of yours, a family acquaintance, somebody wants to sell their home. and it's going to be coming for sale, you could start putting it on here and try to get a list of buyers that are potentially interesting. Is this first 15 minutes of the seminar worth it so far, people?
Yeah.
Yes, big yes.
Okay, I really appreciate your inspiration, because you are the people that inspire me to go on and learn these things to help teaching everybody how to do all of this good stuff.
Yeah, and we're very appreciative that you're sharing your knowledge with us.
I know you are, Sonny. I just hope some of the other people are, and they express themselves, because we appreciate hearing back from everyone.
Well, guaranteed they are, because they're in the chat box and they're also texting me on my cell phone, WhatsApp. Everyone's saying that they love Gary. Gary's doing great. He's awesome. He knows all this good
You're my
stuff.
inspiration when you do that.
It's
You're
all over my
my
WhatsApp and text.
He's
That's the
going full
truth.
throttle.
You're all my inspiration. That's what keeps me going, believe me, through all the tough times, and there's been a lot of tough times. But let's carry on.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show you something. In the essence of time, we only have so much time, basically 24 minutes until this session ends. And I'm going to show you something that can make you business for the rest of your life, that you should never, ever retire. For all the 44,000 people at the Toronto Real Estate Board, I wish I could speak to them all at once and say all the part-timers, there's over 20,000 part-timers at the Toronto Real Estate Board. We know they're only doing 1, 2, 3 deals a year. You could be doing more than that by doing what I'm about to show you for all those part-timers. For all the, and you can be helping the full-time people. I'm going to get the full-time people to appreciate what you do with what I'm about to show you, because all the full-time people can do this even more. Watch this. I'm going to bring up something special here. Let me see, it's not on here. Oh, that's interesting. One second. Maybe it's over here.
Where?
Hang on. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here.
Okay, yes, okay.
Can you see my screen? Okay. Here is a sample website. I'm going to start with Sunny, and then I'm going to show you other websites as we go along. Here's a website from, anybody ever heard of Sunny Cash App?
No.
That's funny. Okay, you guys are cracking jokes on me now. I like it.
Oh man.
You're
Sunny.
too much.
Where are you hiding?
See,
I was
no,
hiding under a rock.
Okay. I
That's
wanted
good.
to show you his website, which
Show
is
your
called
face at least.
soldwithsunny.com.
You look smart, eh?
And by the way,
Thank
watch
you.
this. Each of you, every single one of you, can be a portal through the internet, through your personal website, to the exclusive listings on ICIWorld. I'm going to repeat that, how significant this is. I'm going to start with World Commercial. You can have this on your website, and eventually every single broker and salesperson in the world should have this on your website. You become a portal. Everybody that's listening to this today, and I think we got about 50 people listening in, and also a bunch of people that are going to be receiving it by email because of the recording, and all the other people that are listening to it, and all the other people we talk to, if you as a salesperson have this on your website, you become the portal to all this information on the screen. So I'm going to click on Search Database and look at all the information that starts to come up on the screen. Now, these are coming in one at a time. They can be exclusive residential, they can be exclusive commercial. And then once people learn how to search and sort, they'll probably go ahead and pick an area, any place in the world. I'm going to pick Ontario. And I'm going to choose apartment buildings just for the sake of argument, unless somebody else wants me to do something different. I'm going to choose the halves of the properties for sale and for lease. I'm going to leave it on 3 months. So we have apartment buildings less than 3 months old in Ontario, and I'm going to sort them by price down here. I click on sort by price down at the bottom. Everybody pretty well searches things by price, whether it's even millionaires have a budget. Search the database, and bingo, up comes 48 apartment buildings in Ontario sorted by price. Isn't that fantastic? The interesting two important things, even better than what I'm showing you. Number one is 75 to 90% of these ones are not on real estate boards. These are exclusive offerings from other brokers in the industry who have a customer, a client, a friend, a family member. They have a contact for somebody that has a property for sale. So let's say somebody is interested in maybe this one here, a Victorian home in the heart of downtown Toronto. Here's where it gets really, really good, and why every one of you are at the moment missing doing deals. But after today, you can stop missing doing deals because we have a special for you. I'll show you in a moment. You'll see here $3.99 million. Somebody's going to try to click on that listing and they cannot do it. They cannot do it. What does that mean? And my question is to everyone that's listening. If this is on your website and someone cannot click on that message number, who do they have to call? Can you please put your answer in the chat window? If this is, I'll repeat, if this is your website, us is correct. How about some other people? Me. Okay, there we go. All the me's. It's not Gary Nuska. Paul, it would be they would call you Paul. In other words, if this is on your website, they have to call you for more information. Isn't that fantastic? Can everybody give me a high five? Bingo. Isn't that fantastic? This is a way to trigger leads to you. Number one, it's not like Zillow where you got to pay for the ads. You are going to get the leads directly from your website. If you do not have this on your website, you have no chance to trigger a lead. The moment you put it on it, the very next person that goes to your website and sees this listing, they have to call you for more information. How does it work? Well, works like this. Ring, ring, ring. Somebody calls you up, says, you know, I happen to be on your website, Anna, and I'm interested in message number 398862. Can you help me? And you should always say, yes, I can help you. I will have someone call you back. You can get a hold of that other broker who's got that listing, and you can say, I have a lead for you. Is a 25% referral commission okay with you? That's a 5-minute phone call. It's averaging $3,000 to $10,000 right now. We've got one broker who's done 15 of these. They've actually made $45,000 for 75 minutes of work. You tell me if that isn't fantastic. In other words, other brokers have agreed to allow their listings to be on your website. Now you might say, oh my God, how much does it cost to have this stuff? Is it $300 a month? Or, you know, $300 every 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? It happens to be $319 for the whole year. And the more money you can donate on top of that, the more we can develop these services for you. But the bottom line is the $319 for the 1 year. It turns out that Sunny has negotiated a special on for all of you for today. And the special is $240 for not just 1 year, but $240 for 1 year, and you get a 3-month bonus when you sign up today if you're interested. In order to get that special, I'm going to give you a special link to go to that I'm going to dictate to you. It's called sunny.ICIWorld.com. sunny.ICIWorld.com. I don't know if I'll mention this. sunny.ICIWorld.com. I just typed it in there and I click on it.
It's in the chat box as well.
Oh, very good. Okay, so that does it. And you'll see that you can go ahead and fill in your membership here and pay with a credit card, and you will get it for $240 for 1 year and 3 months for today. That link will be active for this session, and then it will no longer be available tomorrow. By the way, your information will also show up on many of our other websites, such as you see here. People click on that, bingo, you can see all the information coming up here. And if you sort them by price, and you want shopping centers, bingo, you can click on shopping centers. And you, even though you don't have shopping centers, you're going to have 93 shopping centers on your website. All of these are going to be on your website. How does it look? Well, let's see if we can go back and do it. Let's go back to another EXP website. There's a gentleman here named Tom Pelleggi, and he's with EXP. Okay. And if we were to go down here and click on industrial commercial, you'll see he's got a search world commercial real estate properties. If I click on it, up comes all the properties. Again, this is coming from ICIWorld, but there's no contact names and numbers. You can't see them. When people click on a listing, they can't do it. They have to call you for more information. So people can search Canada. Let's go and do a residential one. See if he's got, I don't know if he's got the residential button. He might not have. World commercial, Ontario commercial. Oh, you will have the FSBOs as well, people. The World FSBO listings will also be on your website. There's a total of 7 buttons. And if I was to choose, let's say what's going on in Canada, Ontario, and maybe just the Greater Toronto area, these have been put in by the public. This is the third thing that we're introducing now that most people don't know about, but the public can post information on ICIWorld absolutely free. But the only people that can click on these message numbers are the member brokers. You will have access to these directly to the buyers and sellers here. So that's another thing that's going to be happening on your website, to have all these exclusive listings, the FSBO listings, the business opportunity. It gets even better. Watch this, business opportunities. Somebody's looking to buy a hotel, a motel, a gas station, a restaurant. They can come to your website and they can click on restaurants and look at all the buyers and sellers of restaurants. You tell me if this isn't fantastic. So you have the MLS on your website, which is wonderful. The best way in the world to sell real estate, if you can get a signed listing. Well, what if you can't get a signed listing? And secondly, what about all the buyers? Look at all the buyers. They're being overlooked by half the industry. Not anymore. We're an association of real estate brokers and salespeople. And somehow I firmly believe that somehow we're going to become affiliated somehow with one of the real estate boards, the real estate associations. And there's things going on, talking to NAR and stuff like that, that we can't talk about right now in this meeting. But it's wonderful to help you network information in the world today, because this one piece of information can help you. If you know that there's a Popeyes franchise and you take your kids to a Popeyes franchise someday, ask to speak to the owner. Would you consider selling if I brought you a full price offer or the price that you're looking for? Bingo, you've got yourself a built-in showing. You can see all of these going on. Any questions so far? Does anybody want to see anything demonstrated on here? I'll give you a moment to think. Residential, the same thing. Let's go to residential. And right away, you're going to see something special called keyword searching. And if you're working on pre-construction and something, the word pre-construction is not showing up here, we should add it. But if we didn't add it there, we can add it here. Construct. Wait a minute, construction. Okay, I can just do a partial word. And I'm going to leave it on haves and wants. I'm going to expand it because I want to show you how this works. How you can see all the pre-construction going on here. And sometimes you can't put these on a real estate board. Hey, you can put them on here. Isn't that wonderful? Assignment sales, that's another one. Look at that. Assignment sales. So you can be working all these. I'm going to click on assignment up here. I'll remove this keyword down here. Does anybody have a keyword they like to search? We can do it. Look at all the assignment sales coming in. And it's all by keyword searching. Sorry, hang on one second. There they are. What about waterfront properties? You're looking for cottages, waterfront properties. Well, just change it to waterfront. And go down to the bottom. And let's sort them by price just for fun. Search database. There are some of them right there. Waterfront properties, just by searching the word waterfront. Isn't that marvelous? All of this can be working from your website. These are all mobile links that go on your website. So if you have a mobile website, they all come up on your screen. By the way, everyone should add the ICIWorld app to their phones. Go to the App Store, search for ICIWorld. It's absolutely free for you to install the app, the ICIWorld app. You will have actually 40,000 contacts available from your mobile phone if you install the ICIWorld app on your phone. Okay, businesses for sale. We've got that. World commercial. If you're doing business in other countries, you can be putting information on here. And just to show you how many people are coming in here on a regular basis, I want to show you how people are coming in from all over the world. If I click on Asia and do a search, look at all the people from Asia putting properties on our service. This is from 138 countries, people that are coming in here on a regular basis. What about Europe? Let's see what's happening in Europe. The people in Europe are getting on here. And so we're just waiting for the rest of the real estate industry, some of whom are asleep at the wheel. You can see there's a lot of activity going on here from all over the world. And you can do referrals all over the world. In fact, if you do a referral to Florida, say you make a connection for somebody in Florida, let's go to USA and click on Florida. You can be doing referrals and making money in US dollars. Let's see if we can show that. There we go. Look at that. There's almost 1,000 listings from just in Florida alone. So you're going to have all these kinds of properties on your website. We're suggesting that every one of you become a portal with your website to all the services in the world through MLS, by having MLS on your website, and by having information, exclusive information on your website. So if we were to summarize what we're doing here today, basically, we've got, let me go back here, hang on. You'll see that we have many different ways of presenting our seminars to the world here today. And hang on one second. If you know something, I might just show that for a second, because these happen to be, I think, yes, let's just move on here. FSBOs for sale by owners, only brokers can see it. There's over 1,000 brokers and salespeople that now have these links on their website. Those are some of the websites you can go to, but I wanted to show you some of the deals that are going on here and get you excited for some of the people that arrived late. And these deals were all done with exclusive information that was not on the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. I too have been a broker for over 45 years, but I want everyone to consider us as your personal marketing and information assistant. I'm working for you. You're the boss. We will be making suggestions based on all the experience that we've had working with brokers over the last many years, helping them to do these deals. And this pledge is important. Let me see if I can go back to this pledge. Every member should be making connections to do deals every 90 days to do business. Otherwise, you give us a call, give us a chance to help you. And these are examples of the deals that are going on here on a regular basis, all with exclusive type information. We look forward to teaching you how to do this. And my big plus that I'm really looking forward to is hearing from each and every one of you when you do your first deal based on information. I want to be the first one to congratulate you. That completes my session for today, Sonny. Back to you.
Excellent, perfect. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for us?
Hey, Gary.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I can't turn my camera on. I'm not in a presentable shape. Like, I'm not as handsome as Sunny is, of course.
Thank you, Paul Uncle. You're so sweet. First of all, before you get started, we want to thank everyone for joining us today. And I hope you enjoyed everything. We want to thank Gary for the great training and presentation. We also want to thank Amanda. She really went out of her way.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of my business partners to help coordinate everything and all the logistics. She was awesome. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Amanda. And now we're going to start off with everyone's questions. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask all your questions. We're going to start off with Paul Uncle for now.
Thank you, Sunny-san. So Gary, how long does a listing stay on your site? Are there any mechanism in place where we can find out if listing is sold or no longer in contract with someone?
Yes, actually, let's just, oh, see Daisy, what happened there? Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you something very quickly. We do not delete listings. As long as you're a member, they stay on here. If your membership expires, it goes to an expired listing area. So we have the same thing as real estate boards. We have expired listings, we have inactive listings, we have solds as well. I'll give you an example. If I go to this, when you come to our main website, ICIWorld.com, which, oh, by the way, Sunny, people can click on join today anytime, go down here and click on the corporate rate, because Sunny is extending the corporate rate for every one of you, which is $240 for 1 year. So you can join anytime that you wish in the future. As long as you mention Sunny's name, you will get the corporate rate, which is $240 for the first year. After the first year, it's $319. But if you refer people to join, then you get a discount. Now, today and today only, there's an additional 3 months if you're thinking of joining. And what you do to get that additional 3 months is you type in sunny.iciworld.com to get that special. But let's go back to once you join, the only two things you do on ICI World, one is you're going to search right here. And you notice when you click on search, it's the same 4 searches. But when you go to member login and you come here, this is where you can see that there's a nice REM magazine article, which I'm just going to show briefly, that we're in REM magazine. We're actually in your office for the last 20 years, believe it or not. All your offices, we've been in REM magazine advertising and trying to get you all to kind of come aboard. And this will talk to you all about how we mine the gold. It's the information on the internet that's making so many people so much money. It's exciting to hear. We do have the Facebook site as well, that when you become a member, you can actually add your information on our Facebook site here, and you'll see all the listings that are coming in. And, oh, there's yours, Sunny. Wanted 5-star hotels and business. So there's your information coming in. And all the other activities. When you have a membership, you can actually post it on our special Facebook site that you see here as well. And then if you go down a little further, every one of you, this is free for you, ICIWorld.global. When I click on that, every one of you can receive the listings once a day, absolutely free. Mark that down, ICIWorld.global. ICIWorld.global. The people that are member, you can subscribe to the FSBOs, so you can receive the FSBOs. If somebody puts a FSBO on today, you'll get a copy by email. Every one of you should subscribe to this very special list called Ontario Commercial, CAON Commercial. This is the Ontario Commercial list, the most popular list. Once a day, we send out a digest, the new listings to everyone in Ontario. And the ones that are interested in the GTA, you go to CAON GTA Residential, which is the GTA residential listings once a day. Now, when you click on and you go down further, these are where the educational real estate webinars, if you want to follow up, you can register for that. You click on it and you'll see in the second row, you're going to see live upcoming webinars. There's another one tonight at 7 o'clock. You can register for it. Another one on Tuesday at 10:30, Saturday at 10:30, Tuesday at 10:30, Wednesday at 7, Saturday at 10:30, Tuesday at 10:30. We're running them 3 times a week, and they always have people in them. So it's really kind of neat that way. When we go down further and you become a member, this is the first thing you print out, is you print out this PDF file, which contains all the instructions step by step on how to do basically everything on the service. And there it is, 1, 2, 3. And if you want to learn how to search the private FSBO area, it's on page 3, right here. Where is it here? Search the FSBO area, right there. That teaches you how to search the FSBO area, how to log in, how to make a connection with those people. And then how to place a want and how to place a have. There's a little video that you can listen to. 4 webinars. The most important one is maybe how to promote your website. We attended World Search Engine Conventions and you can learn how to do it. We spent $4,000 going there. That's a $4,000 video that cost us to make. And believe me, there's things in there that you trigger one lead as one thing, you learn one thing, and you trigger a lead from your website and you make $25,000 just from that one particular video. On ICIWorld, go to stage. That's where you should all register for one more session, so you get it from beginning to end. The YouTube channel, there's a bunch of good things there for you. Social media, our international newspaper, you can click on that. And ordering the widgets. Once you join, the first thing we do is make sure you order the widgets. All website companies, and there's 35 of them in the Greater Toronto area, they all install the ICIWorld widgets, all of them. If you don't have a website, you give us a call and we're happy to show you them. They're as little as $16.50, absolutely free for 1 month. You can see how you like it. If you want to keep it, you can keep it for $16.50. So that's how that
Sorry.
sort of works. Now, when it comes to the listings, I'm going to click on the add have want. This is the form that you add. So if you have a property, let's say it's in Toronto, oopsie daisy, and maybe it's coming for sale. Maybe you don't have it yet, coming for sale, Toronto, and it's a home and it's maybe $1.5 million. You're going to say approximately because you don't have the address or you don't have the listing yet. You choose Canada, Ontario, and then Greater Toronto. And then you come down here and let's find Toronto. And then you have all these different categories here and you're going to click on Toronto. Or no, sorry, you're going to click on residential, sorry, residential estates. And then you just repeat it here. It's a home, it's Toronto, and it's $1,500,000. And then usually what we do is we copy all that information right there and paste it down into this box here. Go down to the bottom and here's the key. If it's MLS, you're going to choose MLS. But as of today, none of you are restricted to making money with just MLS. At least you now have the choice that you never had before. You have the choice. You just go to sunny.iciworld.com, sunny.com, join, and you're going to be able to work information in the business like you've never done before. And every single one of you should be making money from this, every one of you. And you should be triggering leads every 90 days. If you're not triggering leads every 90 days, you got to get back to us. Okay, and then the last question is, will you allow your listings to be advertised on other brokers' websites? We recommend yes, because it's greater exposure in the marketplace for your listings. I think out of maybe 40,000 listings, we've only got maybe 150 that have said no. All the rest say yes. Now, you'll notice that back up here, there's a status. So we have 5 statuses, active, expired, inactive, leased, and sold. So if I was to click on solds, those are my solds, but there's a way to search solds on the business. And there's, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 solds here. You can search the solds. But what happens is after 3 months, and this is important for everybody to know, when anybody does a search on commercial real estate, it only displays the listings that are less than 3 months old. That means that if you're a member and you have a listing that's more than 3 months old, it is not getting displayed to the world. Only listings less than 3 months old are getting displayed. Now, if somebody wants to search back further, they can. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to search back further for a reason. And I'm going to sort the listings. And there they are. These listings can be older than that. But you know what I really want to do is I'm just going to choose shopping centers for the sake of argument. Hang on. And I want to sort them by price in Toronto. And I'm going to search. Now, some of these listings could be older. You can go by the number. 398 is, let's have a look at when that one was placed. That one was placed June the 15th, which was, that was produced yesterday. So that was just put on yesterday. But if I go down to 391, clicking on this one was placed September the 2nd, 2020. Now, in the case of shopping centers, let me choose some of these other ones. Hang on one second. Multiplex, I want an older one, I wanted an older high price one is what I really wanted. Hang on one second. Let me go for all of Ontario. I want an old high price listing and I'm going to show you how to do business with that. And that was a good question somebody asked. First of all, if you don't want to look at them, you don't have to look at them. There's an older listing for 18 homes. That is an older listing that was put on in 2018. Can everyone see that? Now, I have a question for all of you. Let's say you were to call this broker and ask about, and you wanted this kind of land. And let's say that this property was sold. Could it benefit you to find out how much that property sold for? Could that be helpful information?
Yes.
Secondly, is it possible that maybe that land has not been sold and it could still be available? Is that possible? I'm asking.
So possible.
Yeah, there is a possibility.
Okay. Thirdly, is it possible that the land was sold and maybe there was a problem and it might be coming back for sale again?
Yep.
Fourthly, is it possible that this particular broker knows about other listings in the area that are not on ICIWorld?
Yes.
You bet. Let's take it a step further. If you develop a good business relationship with Tony, not just call him up and say, send me all the details when the property's not listed. You got to develop good business relationships with these people. If you have a good business relationship with him, is it possible that maybe 2 months from now, he might find a piece of property that really suits what you're looking for and gives you a call back? Is that possible?
Obviously.
You bet. So in commercial real estate, this is what opens up doors for you people. It's the developing of business relationships with other people that can help you do deals. It's not like MLS where you call it up if it's available or not, forget it, you move on to the next one. Everything here is networking. It's all about networking. It's these listings that help you identify people. It's you, the individual brokers and salespeople, the people that are on the network that are the most important part of this network, because it's you who people can network with. If they tell you they're looking for a certain kind of thing, you can mark it down, you might be able to find it someday. So that's what's going on here. Does that answer your question about older listings?
I have a question on this one, which you're showing about this broker. If
Yeah.
a listing was there showing 2018,
That's
you
correct.
published it.
Yeah.
Isn't somewhere they are obliged to change the status to say sold or something? I completely get that. If
Yeah.
it was an old published listing and it is again back in market, or maybe the seller didn't got the right price, you know what I mean? But
Yes.
let's say in a real scenario, don't they require to say sold one time? And again, second time when it's coming back on market, or maybe they would like to do exclusive publishing, it
I
should
hear you.
have a new date per se. Like, I'm just saying,
In other
what's
words,
your say?
okay. In other words, you would like us to operate like MLS and give a fine to those people if they don't update their listing.
No, listen, I'm not going to that deep. I'm just saying, for me, just to understand that, because it's a platform where people can manage their own listing the way they want. But what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, would it be possible that they will have a second listing also with a new date,
It's
and they
possible.
never change the status of the old listing?
The answer is yes. In other words, what's
Okay.
happening on our service, it's basically free market enterprise on
Got it.
ICIWorld, okay? And it's like classified ads in a newspaper is really what it is. Now, you and I know that some people don't mark their listings sold like they should. Agree or disagree?
Absolutely, because they want the interest to be created all the time.
That's true, but some people have deaths in the family. Some people are suffering problems. Some people ignore what's going on for ICIWorld, and yet they still have the buyer. And some people are traveling out of the country. There's a lot of reasons. Some people are so busy, they forget that they have a membership on
Yeah.
ICIWorld, and yet they still have a buyer or a seller.
Yeah.
So what we have found is we made a decision way back 25 years ago, the best decision that we ever made, not to delete those listings.
Absolutely.
And we got actually a lot of criticism. People say, oh, I go to your service, you got listings 2018, 2000, all these old listings. So what we did, and we did something special for all those people that don't want to search more than 30 days old,
Yeah.
there you go. You
Yep.
only choose listings 30 days and don't, we're going to tell you, the rest of our industry, the rest of our membership is going to say, don't look at us. If you don't want to search a listing more than 30 days old, don't do it.
So what am I saying?
Hang on, there was a special sale that happened. It was an $18 million quarry at one time. I left it on here for 3 years, okay? In the third year is when he got the call. If we had deleted it after 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, that broker would never have done that deal. So what we're saying is this service is more like a gold mine. The nuggets of gold are here, but you got to dig through the dirt. In the case of MLS, everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. If there's a listing there, chances are it's available. Within 1 day, it's gone. If it's not gone, you're going to get a fine if you do it over and over.
So if I hear you correctly, it's a fantastic way, because today we are looking at others' listing. In future, it could be our listing, which is in my case too.
That's right.
But what I'm trying to say, the easy bet for me as a thing to understand, we have an ability to select shorter period of time while searching. One. Second, if we see because it meet our client's criteria, we can just pick a phone and talk to that broker to say, hey, this listing is still valid or not. You know what I mean?
That's correct. And when you talk to the broker, that's the most important thing to appreciate. You talking with another broker. That's where the business is being done.
Got it.
And this gives you that chance.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
And that was an excellent, excellent question. Now, here's what we recommend that every broker do. Over here, you'll see a button that says My Listings. You see that button, My Listings? I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, when you click on that, all your listings will come on the screen. We recommend that you update your listings every 30 to 60 days. And the reason for that is your listing will go back to the top of the database. I'll give you an example. On the left-hand side, you see Latest World Commercial here.
Yeah.
And you see Latest World Residential. This is Latest World Residential.
Okay.
And if I was to click on one of these, you'll see this is an exclusive home in Brampton.
Yeah.
I click on it. What's the date on the listing?
It's the latest one. Yeah, June 16th.
When's that?
It's just today.
Today, that's right. So here it is coming for sale today. And guess what? It's exclusive. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes. So here is, I'm sorry, mixing two things. So if let's say in my scenario, I have one residential MLS, residential MLS and commercial MLS at the moment. So I can actually list the MLS listings too here.
Oh, for sure. This is a marketing service like classified ads in a newspaper. And here's an example of the home. By the way, you can link to your website, non-MLS listing. Look at that. That's really interesting. So there's a lot of good stuff going on here that you're going to find about. And yes, you should be advertising your listings on MLS.
Okay, fair enough. Because especially for the commercial, sometimes clients want it to be exclusive. Sometimes they want it to be on market. So I'm thinking we can use the same platform for the MLS listings too, if it's happened to be commercial.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
This helps to sell Brampton to the world. When you have websites that you can link to, it helps to sell Brampton to the world. Now let's do one more thing here. I'm going to go back and go back to Latest World Commercial, see what's coming on here. So there's executive office, great opportunity to own offices, want special care retirement home. We had a, oh my God, her name escapes me, just 1 second. She just collected a check. She was selling residential and she sold a little bit of commercial. She just had a check for $137,000 in her hand. And she was so excited because she sold a little retirement home. So you can be making connections for all this kind of stuff. Oh, I had another one. She put on a $200,000 property on here. She got a client, ended up selling a $7 million property, and it was split between her and 2 other brokers, $7 million property.
Lucky her.
Yeah,
your website.
they split $200,000 3 ways is what happened there. But you'll see all these listings coming in. If I was to click on any one of these, now somebody wants a good plaza here, Brantford. Let me just click on this one here. When was this put in? This was put in today as well. So the most important thing that people should know is, especially the ones that complain about the old listings, is that when you click on search and you click on any of these, and if you happen to click on this one, the listings that come up will only be 3 months old. This is the default setting, 3-month-old listings. Okay. And then when you do a search, all of these listings, 212, these are all less than 90 days old, every one of them. Interesting, eh? You ever get your car washed? Anybody? Got a lot of dirty cars?
Of course.
You see this car wash here? I'm trying to show you how to make 50 grand in your next car wash. Can you stay with me? I'm going to click on it. There is a broker that has a buyer for a car wash. $2 to $4 million. Look at that. The next time you get your car washed, why not ask to speak to the owner? I rest my case. If you want to join, you can join by going to sunny.ICIWorld.com, and that will work today. That particular link, and that link will be taken down. It will not work later. But if you want to join later, you can still use Sunny's name. You just go to the main website, click on join today, and you can go to the corporate one right here. You get the extra 3 months with Sunny if you do it that way. Corporate, you click on Canada, and that's it. Any other good questions? Those were all excellent, excellent questions.
Hey, Gary, are we able to delete a listing if we wanted to for whatever reason?
Absolutely. You'll be in charge of modifying and deleting listings. The answer is yes. You just click on my listings, and you'll see over here how all these listings are here. Can you see them? Modify and delete on the far right.
Yes, thanks.
Okay. In my case, I do not sell real estate. I have other things. I'm like the CEO, the managing director of the and founder of the ICIWorld Association of Real Estate Brokers and Salespeople. And I do not sell real estate on the system. The only people I sell to are my own family and my own buddies that I play basketball with 2 or 3 times a week. We used to play basketball last year and a half. We have not played basketball for over a year until this last week for the first time. I've had my 2 shots, and so is some of the other guys, and we're starting to get outside to shoot around a little bit, get a little exercise on Saturday morning.
Quick question, Gary.
Yes, sir.
So this is a little distracted,
That's
but
okay.
what is your, because you've been commercial for the longest time, right?
Yes.
What is your opinion on the CCIM designation? Do you think people should, I know it's very distracted, but it's a quick question.
It's actually a very good question. And I'm going to go to CCIM.com and give you some resources to
Because
check.
I'm thinking of taking it soon. And I don't mind studying and writing all those exams and whatnot. And the practical part, I do qualify due to the production,
Yes.
but I think it's going to help out not only for credibility and advertising, but it will also hopefully help out for production and networking, I think.
You're absolutely correct. And I'm going to click on education, and I'm going to make a recommendation to this first step right here. Everyone that's listening now, anyone that's listening in the future, anyone that's residential, commercial, it don't matter. This is the first step that every single broker in the world should definitely take. Whether you go on to get your PIN or not, you should take the CI 101. I'm going to click on this one. This one is a financial analysis for commercial investment real estate. It helps you analyze the before and after tax consequences of investing in any income producing real estate. This will help you to invest in real estate for yourself. It has all the money going into a project, all the money coming out of the project, how the project makes money during the term of your hold. All of that stuff is explained. And for people in residential real estate, it will take the mystery out of commercial real estate. When you drive by a building the next time after taking this course, you're going to understand exactly how that income cash flow is making money for that particular owner. Every one of you helps to create wealth for all of your clients, but not all of you can show them a picture of how they make money. if you take this one program just to get started, I've never had one person in 40 years that I've been recommending. Well, I've only been recommending it since I got into CCIM, which is in 1980s. So what's that, about 30 years or so.
Wow.
And no one has ever gone into the program and says, I wasted my money. Not one. Every single person said it was absolutely worth it. And they're so glad that they did, because this is an investment in yourself. You will be able to paint a picture of how people make money in real estate. And when you show a property, instead of people walking away and say, I want to think about it, you're going to leave them with the cash flow of how that property makes money. Let them take that cash flow model, let them take that back to their lawyers, to their family, to their financial advisors, and let them criticize it all they want. It makes money. And if they want to change the figures, let them change some of the figures, and you go back with a counter offer. And yes, you can be making money right off the bat from coming right out of the course. I made money, and this was back in 1980 something, I forget when. And the next deal I went on, I made a $25,000 commission coming right out of the course, just using
Excellent.
some of these things that you can use from the CI 101. After you get into CI 101, you will learn about all the other courses and how far you want to go with them all. But yes, absolutely essential. Now, there's two websites you need to know. One
It's
is
good for
called
the networking too, right? So you can
absolutely,
get all the pocket listings.
and I'm gonna show you up here another website called CCIMcanada.com. This is the local chapter website, and we used to meet at the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board when we were meeting. And you're going to see the website come up here in a moment. And this is the local chapter that you can join for $129 a year, and you do not have to be a CCIM to join the chapter. And you can read about upcoming courses, and you can see the members who are on here. And I'm going to suggest you consider joining the chapter. And you'll see there's fundamentals of business evaluation. Oh, this is the business evaluation coming up June 23rd. And by the way, if you're a member of the chapter, it's free to attend. The fundamentals of business evaluation. These are some of the other courses that are coming up here as well. You can see them. Okay, and that's called, you can mark that down, centralcanadaccim.org or CCIMcanada.com. They'll both get you there. And I'm a past president of the chapter. I'm also a past World Conference chairman for the CCIM Institute out of Chicago. And where CCIM comes from, it actually comes from where you get realtor.com. The term realtor is actually licensed to the Canadian Real Estate Association from the National Association of Real Estate in Chicago on North Michigan Way. They also confer the CCIM designation, part of what is called the CCIM Institute. And that's where the CCIM designation comes from for education, known to be amongst the best education in the world. Any questions on that? I'm just wondering if anyone is kind enough to say they're thinking of joining today for ICIWorld. If you could put it in the chat window just to see if there's some people that are saying